Audrey Lilly has made an appointment with Diane Price at the local MSHA office to get some answers to her and her husband's safety concerns. Diane will listen to Audrey's concerns and then explain how the Mine Act affords minors certain rights to engage in safety and health-related activities, including the right to file a discrimination complaint.
Audrey?
Yes.
I'm Diane. We spoke on the phone. Come on back to my office.
Thanks for taking the time to speak with me.
Sure, no problem. When we spoke on the phone yesterday, you said you had some questions about health and safety issues at the mine where your husband works. Is that right?
Yeah, sort of. But I don't want to cause any trouble for him. But I am concerned about his safety.
I understand.
There have been some things going on at work. Some things that maybe he should talk to MSHA about. But he's kind of worried about saying anything because he doesn't want to cause trouble or lose his job.
He does have a right to report hazards. Miners or their representatives can report hazards or even request an inspection if they feel that there are safety dangers or health concerns. We refer to those as hazard complaints.
So he can request an inspection if he feels there's a safety concern? You see, he's not a supervisor. He's just a regular miner.
That doesn't matter. He can report what he believes to be a hazard. MSHA has an 800 number, a national hotline that anyone can call to report accidents or health and safety hazards. You can file a hazard complaint about this issue right now if you wanted to, or you can go to the MSHA website and file a hazard complaint without even making a phone call. Hazards can also be reported directly to any MSHA inspector or any MSHA office.
And you don't have to give your name on the report, right?
That's right. Even if you do give your name and number, MSHA will protect the identity of anyone reporting a hazard or filing a complaint or anyone named in the complaint. Those are confidential matters. Let's say a miner, miner's rep, section foreman, or anyone has a private conversation with MSHA regarding hazards. Those conversations are kept confidential. Just like our conversation today, MSHA will keep this conversation confidential too.
But see, here's what worries me. He's already mentioned the problem to his supervisor, and nothing was done about it.
We encourage miners to make an honest, good faith effort to let management know about any health or safety concerns. This should be the fastest way of getting those problems corrected. It's always good when management responds quickly to resolve those types of problems.
I know, but he says that he's heard about guys losing their jobs for talking to MSHA. And he's scared that if he talks to MSHA now, since he already brought it up, that the company's going to know that he's the one that complained about it.
I would hope they wouldn't do that. Reporting hazards is a right, and therefore a protected activity under the Mine Act.
Protected activity?
When Congress passed the Mine Act, they intended for miners to take an active role in helping to keep mines safe and to speak up when they had safety or health concerns. They wanted to make sure that miners were protected from any sort of retaliation or discrimination when speaking out on matters of health and safety. That's why reporting hazards is an activity protected by the Mine Act, or what we commonly refer to as a protected activity.
Okay. So what happens if he does report it, and then they might make life hard for him on the job, or try to figure out a way to get rid of him?
I understand your concern, and that's exactly the type of retaliation or harassment that the Mine Act protects miners from. Now, I don't know all the details of his situation, but I can tell you this. The company is not supposed to retaliate against him for reporting hazards to management at the mine or talking to MSHA about health and safety. If they do, your husband could file a discrimination complaint. That's a different type of complaint, but it is also a protected activity. However, there's a big difference between the two. When MSHA notifies an operator about a discrimination complaint, the person who alleges the discrimination will be named in that complaint. It's not anonymous like reporting hazards. The company will even receive a written copy of the actual discrimination complaint.
Okay, that is different. How does that work?
Let's say he believes he was discriminated against in some way for reporting hazards or talking to MSHA, and he decides to file a discrimination complaint. First, He must file the complaint within 60 days of when the alleged discrimination took place. If he was not aware of the discrimination within the 60-day period, or other factors prevented him from filing his complaint, then his delay may be excused if he had a good reason. And remember, it's important to include details when filing a complaint.
What kind of details?
For example, it's a good idea to take notes or keep a diary or journal of what happened. Document things like names, dates, places, times, events, and actions relating to the discrimination. Documentation is essential if the discrimination has affected you financially. If your husband expresses concerns at work about possible hazards, he should, whenever possible, express those concerns in front of people who could possibly serve as witnesses if needed. You can find out more about discrimination and complaints in this guide to minors' rights and responsibilities. MSHA will thoroughly investigate the complaint to determine if there is, in fact, substantial evidence to conclude he was discriminated against. We will notify him in writing within 90 days of our decision.
Okay, so what happens then?
There are a lot of possibilities here, depending on what we find in our investigation. If he is discharged, MSHA could request that he be reinstated to his old job, if that is what he wishes. He could also receive back pay, be transferred, or we may request other actions to correct the discrimination. Now, if we cannot find substantial proof to conclude there was discrimination, we would notify him and give him specific details on how to file an appeal of our decision and pursue the complaint on his own.
Wow, this sounds complicated.
We regard discrimination as a very serious offense, and we investigate complaints thoroughly. We want to make sure that minors are not retaliated against for exercising those rights I told you about.
Okay, I have one more question. If he had to file, could he file the discrimination complaint here?
Sure, he could file it at any MSHA office or any Black Lung office.
Well, thank you. I feel a whole lot better knowing that he has some options and that he is protected.
Okay then, here's some more information about minors' rights that you can take with you. I will even give you a copy of the complaint forms so you will see what kind of information he will need to provide. Talk it over with your husband. I think it will help you understand the process a little better. And please give me a call if you have any more questions. Or have your husband call me. I'll be glad to go over this with him too.
We definitely will. Thanks so much for your time. You've been so very helpful, and I really do appreciate it.
The Mine Act protects the right of minors and their representatives to voice their safety and health concerns without fear of retaliation. Whether you're a general laborer, equipment operator, safety director, foreman, or a contractor working for the Mine Act protects you. It is important that you know your rights and responsibilities. For example, it is prohibited for a minor to be fired, transferred to a lower-paying job, lose job benefits, or be harassed in any way for reporting a hazard or filing a complaint under the Mine Act. While you have rights under the Mine Act, you also have responsibilities, such as assisting the operator to achieve safe work conditions, reporting all health and safety hazards, not making false statements and false representation. Remember, if you have health or safety concerns at your mine, speak up. Although it is the operator's responsibility to ensure safe and healthful working conditions, a good safety program depends on the active participation, interest, and commitment of everyone at the worksite.